On Sundays, I typically paint, but this Sunday I've decided to show up for my artistry a little differently with a spoken word poem. This poem was written about a year ago, and despite the fact that it's on all major platforms, it wasn't until more recently that I attempted to perform it in public. Um, it's a very vulnerable piece, and what that experience taught me was twofold. The private process as the artist goes through is just that, it's private. But there's still an arc of learning and growth and skill building that is required in order for something that begins in the mind of an artist to be developed as it's being presented to the public. And so with that, because it's a muscle that has to be developed, you have to keep doing it to get better. And I think number two is that vulnerability and earning the respect of the audience is something that takes time. It's wonderful when we go places and we hear a perfect song or we hear poetry or artistry that we just get it the first time. But I would say that real fan base developing and community building, if you're going to follow somebody or you honor their work or like their work, means that you kind of get to see the process of them getting better over time. And so with that, I have the opportunity here to bring you with me. So this is Half of You by Adonica Shaw. He spoke in soft urgings, subtle surges, careful coaxing, quiet currents curling around the mind, whispering, if I carried it, we might lose each other. But if I let the baby go, we might gain a future he fashioned for us both. I was young enough to feel love's insistent insistence, young enough to feel need, pressing against the pulse of my heart to sense that saying yes or no could shift, shatter, and shape everything. Layers of religion, restriction, and regret, expectation and doubt, a voice withheld, wary of a world fearing the somber, silent, suffocating reality that society refuses to see or hear, the unharmonized symphony of reproductive restriction. Built upon the pain and melodies of bodies bartered, broken, and bargained for, whose owners were too young, too ignorant to understand the currency of the exchange of life. Reducing choices to commodities, coins to be counted, stored in the bank of the heavens, the babies of poor Black women, of heathens and harlots, uncelebrated, unloved, inconvenient, whispered to in the way that systems do. You are young, you are poor, you are Black. As if that alone means him to yourself, as if our becoming was already barred before we could beg, before we could argue that we matter. Hidden in adolescence, there's a hidden message that many of us were not taught to see. Because when you're poor, Black, or broken, people decide all of the things you're going to be. So I forewarn you, beautiful Black girls, now that I'm mature, measured, and whole, you are so much more than what the world has sold. The truth about the coercion of abortion, something I wish then that I now knew, is that it is always wiser to keep it, not because it is half of him, but because it is half